What has it done to your faith?
Well, it's knocked the cynicism right out of me, you know, it's easy to be cynical. I miss that a little bit because it's so, you know, you know, it's so easy to poo-poo everything. Yeah. And now when you really...
It's a good intellectual position, you know.
You're never wrong because you're always so smart that you don't even have to consider it. And everybody's dumber than you when you're cynical. And so, firstly, it's made me realize that there are a lot of people smarter than me. And a lot of people more admirable than me in smaller ways because of the faith that
frequently those people are not the people that would be considered the highly successful people the most.
No. None of those people are. I'm talking about people who every day go and serve the homeless, who every day go and build a religious community or faith without any big reward awaiting them. So first of all, it's just made me change my priorities about what I admire. And
also what you do,
and then how you aspire and how you do it. Yeah. I am much more involved with my community in Detroit, where I live now, than I ever have been. I can't hear a story of someone suffering without now my brain starting to go, well, what can we do about it? We must be able to do something about that. Whereas I think before, there was a part of me that said, well, they probably brought it on themselves. Or the same way that people look at homeless people when they pass them. Most people look at homeless people and say, well, yeah, you know, I wouldn't want to be him, but, you know, something probably happened and he brought it on himself. And I ended up, during this process, going to a homeless shelter, spending a night down there to write a story about it. I wasn't pretending to be homeless, but I just wanted to write about the experience. And I was online with a lot of other people for food, and one guy turns around and looks at me, he says, "Aren't you Mitch Albom?" I said, "Yeah," and he looks at me over again. He says, "So what happened to you?" And you know, I laughed too, but then I realized, well, of course, that's a perfectly normal question for him. I'm the one who's wrong for assuming that question isn't right. Why not me? All I am is one substance abuse problem away, one bad firing away, a bad divorce, and suddenly I'm online with him. And I never got that out of my head, and I thought, you can't be haughty like that.
What do you want people to take away from the book?
Well, towards the end, I mean, hopefully people will find something that speaks to them. And we talked about so many different things, about marriage and about forgiveness and about money and about all that. But I would say if I picked one thing, towards the end of maybe our last meeting, I think it was, with the Reb, we were talking about heaven. And I was asked so many questions that he did one of those talk to God things, and he said, "Dear Lord, this one has so many questions, you know, please give him many years on earth so that when we see each other again, we'll have lots to talk about." And I said, "Do you really think we're going to see each other again?" And he said, "Don't you?" And I said, "Well, let's face it, I don't think I'm going where you're going." And he said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, come on, you know, they must have a whole different level for you. You know, you're a man of God." And he looked at me very sweetly and he said, "You're a man of God too. Everyone is." And that, to me, that little moment, you could have hit me with a brick and knocked me, I wouldn't have made a difference. For him to put himself, this 90-year-old pious, righteous man, on the same level as me, not only was an act of humility, but also crystallized for me what I'm trying to say in this book, is that we are all children of God. Yeah. And it's not about I'm more pious than you are, or my religion's better than you are. We're children of God. And if you accept the fact that we are all children of God, you have to have a certain respect and love for your fellow man. You have to, because you would have it for yourself. And if you just have that sentence in your head, you're a man of God too, everyone is, we'd treat each other a lot better. And we are at a crossroads now with faith, I think, between either we're going to just keep going like this and it's going to be, well, you're not the same as me, so I need to kill you, which is happening now on a global scale, or we're going to find the commonality of faith and find the goodness that is shared by it and focus on that and find ways to get along with one another. And so I write at the end of the book, you know, there are a lot of melodies, but it's all the same beautiful song. And I believe that that's true. So if you ask me what people would want to get out, it would probably be that moment, you know. Just say to the person next to you, well, you're a man of God too, you're a woman of God, you're a child of God too, everyone is. And you would have to treat them better and treat yourself and the world better.
The hole is still in the roof.
For now.
for now. When is it going to be fixed, and how can people help?
As sure as I am sitting here.
You got to, by the way, you got to read the book. You've got to get the book, have a little faith, read the book. You'll get into it, you can't get out of it.
As sure as I'm sitting here, that hole will be fixed before this Christmas. I made Henry that promise.
So you still meet with Henry? You guys are still working together?
I'm the first official Jewish member of the I and My Brother Keepers Ministries. I go to church all the time, and I enjoy being in Henry's church. I enjoy listening to him. Of course, I belong to my synagogue still. Yeah. And we have started a foundation called A Hole in the Roof Foundation, which the web is aholeintheroof.com. And
so it's the web is aholeintheroof.com. aholeintheroof.com. And you can go to that. And can you give there?
Yes. And the first project is to fix this hole, so that there will be no more plastic tents built inside a sanctuary in the 21st century. That just is not, we can't have that. But once we fix this hole, then that foundation will go on. It's my hope, and I'm tithing the profits from this book to jumpstart it. So I know that 10% of everything on this book goes into it. And any other organization of faith that takes care of the homeless, church, synagogue, whatever the case may be, they can apply to the Hole in the Roof Foundation if they've got a busted window or a hole, whatever, and we'll distribute the money to them.
Well, one last question. I'm getting a wrap, but I got to ask this last question. Looking back on all this, being slowed down with Maury, and then meeting the Reb, and then meeting Henry, talk about a child of God. Looking back, do you look at that and say, this is no accident? This is part of a plan for my life?
There's a Jewish expression, man plans and God laughs. And I think my life has pretty much been the personification of that. So yeah, I would have to believe at this point things happen for a reason, and that's why I stopped planning and just live as if something's going to happen tomorrow that will move me in another direction.
Well, I can assure you the plan's not over. All right.
Well,
the Reb was right. Give him many years.
Thank
the
you.
book is entitled "Have a Little Faith: A True Story." Again, it's a powerful book. I would encourage you, if you haven't read it, probably you have, but if you haven't, get a copy and read it. Hey, Mitch, thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.